go ahead and get started, and we are going to jump in with this Shiloh Hendrix nonsense. Shiloh Hendrix nonsense. Shiloh Hendrix, if you don't know, which I don't know where you've been if you don't know, she is the white woman from Rochester, Minnesota, who was caught on tape racially abusing, verbally abusing a black 5-year-old child with autism. And the tape, the video starts with a bystander being like, "Did you just call that young boy the N-word?" And she repeats it, she cusses at him, and she accuses this 5-year-old of stealing something from her kid. Now your antenna should go up when you hear 5-year-olds stealing stuff. That's 5-year-olds don't steal stuff, right? 5-year-olds learn social boundaries, and they need to be parented, and they need to be taught, but they don't steal stuff. There's no ill intent there. He's doing what 5-year-olds do, if indeed that even happened, right? I'm not sure it happened. Maybe it did. That doesn't matter. There's no reason to act the way that she acted. And so she was put on the internet, and the internet did what the internet does, and I am here for all of that. And she did what folks who get put on blast on the internet do. She jumped on Give, Send, Go, which is gaining a lot of publicity right now as well, because they seem to be okay with hate speech and funding it and all that. So she jumped on Give, Send, Go, and white nationalists rallied to it, right? And a big part of why they rallied to it is because she doesn't deny doing it. She does not deny doing it. In the Give, Send, Go, she says, "I called him the N-word because that's how he was acting." And she says it in the video as well, right? And so this brazen white nationalist, this brazen racist, is leaning into the move right now for white nationalists across the country, is to really, really double down on the idea that this is a white country. I can be racist. Explicit racism is 100% acceptable at this time, and here we go. Let's get it, right? And some folks are like, "Yo, that can't possibly be what it is." Other folks are donating money, and she has raised over $600,000, right? And she did that in large part because other white nationalists recognized the opportunity to go support one of their own. And nobody more famous than Lily Gaddis. And so she jumped on Twitter, X, whatever, and she had this to say. And let me go ahead and present this. This is Lily Gaddis in her own words. Bam.
Shiloh Hendrix going viral on the internet right now. She told a kid who, by the way, when you actually look at the picture, the kid is like pretty decent sized child. He was rummaging through her bag and stealing
pretty decent sized child,
I guess, toys or whatever out of her bag. She tells him to fuck off, essentially, which when you look at the video, the guy filming the video, he's a Somali, Hassan, whatever. He's a pedophile, actually. He's going to court in a little bit for raping an underage girl after offering her a place to stay.
I want to pause here. This is important. That's not true. She's blatantly lying. That is not true. He has no criminal record. He is not going to court. He is not a pedophile. He was there with his own son. And so I want to make sure the record reflects that. Let's continue by all means, racist.
Stay. So that's your great people. And this is just like, this is whites having enough of it. We're sick of being bullied in our own country. You have this guy. He's not even from here. He's got a fucking accent. He's a convicted pedophile in a playground, in a park. So what are you doing there anyway? He's swarming the streets, and now he's trying to get her life ruined. He's like, "Oh, this is hate speech. There will be consequences."
Swarming the streets.
I'm sorry. This is America. You have free speech in this country. So go and support her. She's got like a Gifts and Go up. But this is great. This is white people finally being fed up with this shit. And the fact that we have brown people trying to take away white people's rights in a white country when we have the Constitution and freedom of speech, and they come from their shit countries where you can be locked up for hate speech. This is just disgusting. This is everything wrong with immigrants. This is everything wrong with brown people in our fucking country. And this is why we need to kick them all out, because they not only come to our country and rape our children,
Wow.
but they also come to our country and try to impose their third world religion and their third world laws.
She thinks she's
on
clever
us.
with that.
This is white people's country. This is a white country for white people. These people are not welcome. And I'm glad to see people are finally standing up. So stand with her. And everybody's trying to, shit on her and spin the narrative and ruin her life. But if you can give some to her, because W mom of the year. And show some hate to him as well.
All right, y'all. Here we go. Well, she told a little bit of the truth. It is disgusting. The wrong thing is disgusting, right? Her whole rant, this whole thing is disgusting. Let's get that out of the way. But there's more there that we should talk about, right? So one, we're aware that this happened. And again, on the antidote, we look for awareness, analysis, action, and accountability. So let's really dive into that, right? So let's develop an analysis. You can hear Lily Gaddis on there. And just so you know, she has like 265,000 X followers. She has a pretty huge platform. Bill Maher shot her out. I'm going to talk about her appearance on Piers Morgan because that's actually where I first saw her, or learned her name, I should say. I saw her post. I saw that post previous, but I learned her name at that point in time. But it's important, right? I think we need to understand that the idea that this is a white country is fundamental to Trumpism. It's fundamental to white nationalists. It's fundamental to MAGA. And there's multiple reasons why that is. For some folks, they're the ops. They're violent. They really truly believe in white supremacy. And for other folks, they're desperately searching for a community, right? And I'm gonna talk a little bit about that in a little bit, right? But the fact that that's 100% wrong and antithetical to the values ostensibly put forth in the Declaration of Independence and the principles that the country is founded on seems not to matter to these folks, right? And so you can ask them questions about who actually created the country, who is the country made for. Ask them about the indigenous people that were on Turtle Island before Europeans got here, and you'll get all kinds of gobbledygook. You'll get all kinds of nonsense. You won't get a coherent argument. You certainly won't get a moral or ethical argument, right? And so this idea that America is a white country and that is in line with the purported American values is just false, right? But that's only a persuasive argument if you actually believe the white men who created this country didn't want it to be a white country. And the fact is, and this is where they do get some of the truth right. They do get American history right. The fact is that our country was founded by white supremacists. That they are not wrong in that the imagination of the founding fathers, this was a white country. This was their country, right? That was the justification behind settler colonialism. That's the justification behind the institution of slavery. And it just continues to be the justification. And so we have to deal with that at some level. At some level, we have to be able to say there's truth in that. That there is truth in that. And I'm not sure that we're willing to do that, right? I'm not sure that the average white person is willing to sit and engage the truth that what Charles Mills talked about in the racial contract is real. That Western ideology is truly based on white supremacy. Now, who gets to be white is another story. And that brings me to the part that I want to talk about next, which is this idea of white folks finally having enough, being fed up, and putting their foot down and uniting. That is so much damn nonsense, right? Except for and one, because not all white folks are doing that. That's just objectively false. But lots of people are, right? It's worth the question. It's worth questioning then, what are we uniting about and what does it mean to be white? So, Lily, I wanna ask you, what is your ancestry? What is your ethnicity? Because if it's not Anglo-Saxon, there was a point in this country's formation where your people weren't considered white. The idea of whiteness is a made-up social construct. It's a social political alliance that only exists. Its only purpose is to divide people. It's to divide people. And so whenever you see people talking about uniting white people, and they're using that language around whiteness and white people, they are uniting around an idea that's divisive, an idea that's hateful. And you can see that in what she's saying, right? She says, spread a little hate. She says, this brown man, he has an accent, he has this. He's not worthy of human dignity, of human respect. Give money to Shiloh and spread some hate to him. This is what this is. This is whiteness in action. This is whiteness in action. And we have to be able to understand that so that we can take action to disrupt it, right? And I think a lot of white folks right now are seeing that, and they might be thinking to themselves, like, I had no idea that this was so popular, that this rhetoric was so popular. Well, it is. And it's getting more popular because Trump is blasting it from the bully pulpit of the presidency, but also, and this is something I want to talk about, our anti-racism doesn't make space for white folks to heal from the wound of whiteness, right? It accepts we are white, we are we are privileged, we do that, and again, we are in white supremacy. It is advantageous to be considered white, right? It is easier to maneuver American society. There are privileges within American society that benefit white folks. And to be considered white, to be a part of that club, is not a net gain for us. It results in this type of degradation of humanity. It results in disease. It results in disconnect. It results in sickness. It results in violence. It results in the destruction of communities. All the things that we are currently living through, it results in the perpetuation of hatred. Just listen to a Trump speech, listen to his supporters talk. There's no love there. There's no unity there. It's all based on hoarding of power and a social order, right? And so when Shiloh Hendrix is saying this is, or when Lily Gaddis is saying Shiloh Hendrix is an example of white folks putting their foot down and saying enough is enough, it is imperative that those of us who move in the world as white, who do not subscribe to that, make our voices incredibly loud, that we are on the front lines and saying absolutely not. And then we take seriously creating community and creating an understanding of ourselves and who we are outside of whiteness, while taking responsibility for being white within this society. Okay. That's not an easy thing. I'm not suggesting it's an easy thing, but I am saying that is something that we need to do if we're going to take seriously a world free from racism and moving closer to racial justice.